Gervais Birangui ici, gouverneur de l'État du Niadi, membre permanent du Conseil fédéral Congo. Good afternoon. Gervais Birangui is governor of the State of Niadi, permanent member of the Kongo Federation Council. Tonight I'm going to address, give my contribution as a governor from the State of Niadi to the 2024 election. I'm going to speak in English, the most of the video, and I'm going to interpret in French at the end, but the most of the video will be addressed to the English audience, the American audience, and of course the Kongo Federation audience who speak English. And we want to make sure that our message get to United States also. Donc aujourd'hui, cette vidéo d'aujourd'hui, je vais parler en anglais la plupart du temps. Je vais adresser, je vais mettre ma voix dans le problème de politique de l'économie, de la cruauté économique. La cruauté économique qui a détruit chez nous et qui affecte aussi les États-Unis. Et je vais demander de donner ma contribution dans l'élection de 2024. Je vais parler aux républicains, au parti républicain et au parti démocrate après. Utiliser quelques vidéos. Et sur la base de la vie des Noirs. Et nous, dans ce qui nous concerne les Congos. Parce que les Congos sont les Noirs. Il y a des Congos ici aux États-Unis. Donc, je vais essayer d'expliquer, de juxtaposer la Fédération Congo, ce que nous avons subi avec ce que les Américains noirs ici subissent aussi par rapport à la politique économique de cruauté. La cruauté qui a été imposée aux Noirs en particulier. So, I was saying, this video today is more targeted to the American English-speaking audience. I'm going to speak in English most of the video. I want you to share that video to your families, to the political people. I'm going to speak about the politics of economic cruelty that's been applied. Basically, I'm going to focus on what is more familiar to me, which is black folks, you know, some call African American. I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about the Kongo Federation. I'm going to reintroduce the Kongo Federation to the rest of the world. En tout cas, aujourd'hui, je vais parler en anglais. Hein. La plupart de la vidéo sera en anglais. Et je ferai un résumé en français après. Je vais adresser les politiciens républicains et je vais adresser les politiciens démocrates par rapport à la Fédération Congo. Donc, c'est important que notre message arrive directement pendant que nous sommes en train de rentrer dans une année d'élection de 2024. Je vais donner donc ma contribution ici. Et ça va être en anglais la plupart du temps, mais je vais résumer en français à la fin. So, like I was saying, I speak in English the most of the time. I'm going to share the video right quick. And it's addressed to the American audience. I'm going to talk about the Republican Party. I'm going to give my voice to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, most about the black folks, what's going on with black folks in the United States, how we are affected by the politics. In the title, The Politic of Economical Cruelty. So what that did to us, what the critiques of economic cruelty did affect us a lot. And I'm going to explain what... I'm sharing the video. Stop me. I'm going to explain. I'm going to speak to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. You're not going to stop me. I'm going to right now share the video to your groups, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn. Share the video everywhere. Let everybody hear because we're going to speak truth to power today. I'm waiting for you. I'm going to share on LinkedIn. And, okay. So like I say, the video is going to be the most in English. I'm going to speak in English the most. And I'm going to resume in French at the end. But this video is more targeted to the American audience, to the Republicans, the politics of 2024, the election. And I'm going to give my thoughts when it comes to the politics of economic cruelty. And of course, I'm going to go from the reality that is more close to me, which is as a black man in this country, as an immigrant. That's the reality that affects me the most and that I understand the most. I'm going to share some reality, some statistics, that what they say about the wealth gap in this country. And I'm going to speak about what economic cruelty has done, not just to the United States, not just to the Black or African American America, but also to the Congo people of the Kongo Federation. Because at the end of the day, I'm the governor of the state of Niadi, of the 55th country in Africa, the Kongo Federation. And I'm going to explain to the United States what we already talked about when the Kongo Federation was created the 23rd of October 2021, and what we present to the United States at the time, and we still did present to the United States, and what the expectation from us is, and what the expectation that they haven't met. I'm going to explain where we stand today, the Kongo Federation, and I'm going to compare the devastation of the political economic cruelty, because that's what it's based on. I'm going to speak first to the Republican Party, and then I'm going to speak to the Democratic Party. I'm going to play some videos as I'm doing that. So to start this live, I'm going to reintroduce the Kongo Federation first to a couple of small videos for people who may have forgot who we are. We are the 55th country of Africa. I'm going to reintroduce the Kongo Federation so you guys can have an understanding who we are and what we're fighting for. That's the Kongo Federation, the new leadership of our country. Let's listen.
Hi, good morning. My name is Gervais Birangui, and I'm a member of the Kongo Federation. The Kongo Federation is a new country that is born right there in Africa, in the center of Africa. So many of you may be very resistant to change, but sometimes you have to move on the same flow as water is flowing on a specific path. The Kongo Federation is now born. No one can stop the will of the people, which is the Kongo people. They have decided to create their path to move forward with their future. They have decided to put in place this country because of what we already know. Because for now, it is unnecessary for us to go back on what pushed the Kongo Federation to create this country. The country is there. You are well informed on what is happening. That country, right there in Central Africa, the Kongo Federation is run by the Kongo Federation Council. They are 4 permanent members of the Kongo Federation Council. Sa Majesty Tikaya Zinga I of the Kingdom of Luango. There is Birangui from the State of Niadi. There is Olga Duchemin from State of Mbangala. And there is me, Prince Mikaya Pongi VII, Governor of State of Buenza and State of Lekum. We are now running the Kongo Federation. The people of Kongo Federation, which are the Kongo people, have spoken through the petition that you already have the result. More than 50,887 families have signed for the petition. Let's move forward with this change. Right? The people have decided what you're going to do. Are you going to stop them? Are you going to kill them all? Or you have to move forward with these people. They have taken on their hand their future, and they want to build the new country with a specific vision. Build a school, road, bring a real job, food on family table, empower women, This is the vision that all of us want. Hey, listen, the time of no sneaking on the people beyond is finished. This is the time that the world is changing. This is the time that we are seeing new relationship. This is the time we are seeing new polarization everywhere. Each people, each country want to protect their own interests. That's why you've seen like Africa, young African, they are all stand up. Their eyes is now widely open. They can hear everything, they can understand. At the time that we want to build a new Africa with a new leadership, a new vision, you have to change the way of thinking, the way of running politics, the way of seeing Africa now. Hey, listen, are you going to maintain your style of stealing, killing, destroying, which will push your country or yourself to collapse?
That's right. Okay. That's one, and I'm going to share a second one right quick. Just to...
All right, guys, listen up. Amazon AI...
Before... That's for 2024. We just prepared the new advertisement for 2024, the Kongo Federation in 2024. The year of harvest. That's the year that we're going to harvest our country. That's it. Kongo Federation 2024. The year of harvest. L'année de la récolte. That's the Kongo Federation, the 55th country of Africa. Share the video to your family, your colleagues at work. We're going to speak about the Kongo Federation, about Black America, and I'm going to speak to the Republican Party. I'm going to put my voice concerning the economic cruelty in this country, and I'm going to speak to the Democratic Party. I'm the governor of the State of Niadi of the Kongo Federation. My name is Gervais Birangui. Share the video to every American. It's important, especially Black America. Okay, so that was just to reintroduce the Kongo Federation to all of you. Now we're going to jump straight here to the definition of cruelty. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start to define what is cruelty so everybody understands. What is cruelty? Or the meaning of cruelty. Is callous indifference to our pleasure in causing pain and suffering. Cruelty is what people use and enjoy to cause pain and suffering. And as I put in the title of this video, I put the the politics of economic cruelty. That's what many of us have lived through and have lived through in the United States and in Africa. That's the reason why the Kongo Federation exists today. It's because the Republic of Congo that was built, that was put together by France with the blessing of the United States and what you guys call Europe, I mean the West, have created a situation where the autochthon people, the people that the land belong to, the people that are original people from the land, the people that the economical resources, the raw material belong to, have been the most killed, the most impoverished, and the most stepped on. So we have to explain here what cruelty has done to African on their land, on their ancestral land in Africa. And we can also see it here in the way black folks have been treated over the last 400 years where they stand today. How much that cruelty has crushed their power, their economical power, or the opportunity to become what they could be. But it doesn't mean that they could not succeed. It just means that they are in a disadvantage. And we're going to talk about this disadvantage today. And I'm going to make parallel between African American or Black American and Africans from the Kongo Federation like me, what we went through and why today we created that country, because what our people requested gave us the power to create that country, to separate from the Republic of Congo that was created by France. Excuse me, I'm under the weather. You know, sometimes I'm going to maybe use my thing here. I caught some cold. Donc, j'ai déjà attrapé froid. Excusez-moi si de temps en temps, si ma voix n'est pas claire et si de temps en temps j'utilise le machin. C'était important que je partage le message malgré ma maladie. So it was important that I share this message even though I'm sick, but it was crucial that I share this message today to United States and to Congo people of the Kongo Federation and the rest of the African people and black folks who are watching. So, cruelty, callous indifference to or pleasure in causing pain and suffering, similar to brutality, savageness, inhumanity, barbarousness. Behavior that causes pain or suffering to a person or an animal. So the cruelty is a start to cause pain on people, to project pain. I'm going to take another definition. The way the law explains cruelty, the law say, behavior which causes physical or mental harm to another, especially, to behavior which causes physical or mental harm to another. Let me just stop there. And I'm going to take another little difference here. What is cruelty behavior? Cruelty is behavior that deliberately causes pain or distress to people or animals. Cruelty is behavior that deliberately causes pain or distress to people or animals. So cruelty is done in purpose, basically. And you saw me in this title of my video explain that cruelty, I talk about the politics of economic cruelty. I talk about the Republican Party. I put the Republicans and the Democrats in the United States. The effect of the politics of economic cruelty. And you can see that in the numbers. And the reason why I want to speak from the perspective of a black man, of a husband who happens to be black, of a father who have black children, of a leader who came from the ancestral land of the Congo Empire, as a black man who has been transferred traditional and political power to lead 3 million with the Congo Federal Council to represent my people. I have to come as a leader, also as a man who was given the opportunity to immigrate in America. America has protected me. America has given me the opportunity to become a man, to work, to build my family. I have to be able to speak freely and to use my freedom of speech to explain here the devastation of the politics of economical cruelty when it comes to black folks, when it comes to African folks, when it comes to Congo people from the Kongo Federation. Because I have to make sure that it get across to everybody so they understand why the Congo people rise up. I'm going to take another definition of cruelty. What does such cruelty mean? Deliberate infliction of pain or suffering. The quality or characteristic of being cruel. So another definition of cruelty is a deliberate infliction of pain, of suffering. Hurt people in purpose. When we talk about the politics of economical cruelty that we're fighting against, my country, the Kongo Federation, my people have decided to reject the way politics was done on the land of my ancestors, which took us all the way to a new country now. Because the greed of many multinationals, some French, some Americans, did not understood that the majority of the people of the Kongo Federation have rejected the dictator that they keep in place for 40 years, Denis Sassou Nguesso, his family, and his clan, the Mboshi, who have killed, steal, and stamped on the autochthon, the original, the native people for over 40 years. And I'm just talking about the last 40 years. The damage that has been done, the death of over 4 million, the genocide of the Congo people who has been done is immeasurable. But translated here in America, that cruelty can be seen in the numbers. And I'm going to give some numbers for you guys to understand what I'm trying to talk about when it comes to the economy, when it comes to who have access to resources. So I'm going to jump here. It's a Yahoo, how you call this? PewResearch.org article. It's a Pew Research article who talk about the wealth gap by race and ethnicity in America. I'm just going to read a little bit, but I'm going to focus on the base, what is defined here the most here. Our wealth varies by race and ethnicity. Asian households overall had more wealth than other households. 2 years since the start of the pandemic. In 2021, Asian households had a median net worth of $320,900, compared with $250,400 for white households. The median net worth of Hispanic households are $48,700. And the black household, the median household, the black household is $27,100. So, as you look at the numbers in United States, blacks or African American are still in the bottom. They're still in the bottom. The median household, basically, if you take the most of the black folks in this country and say how much they're worth. Basically, the wealth, your wealth is how much you owe versus how much you own. The difference between how much you own in debt and how much you own, and you give roughly how much you worth. In United States in 2024, this report was they're talking about 2029 and 2019 and 2021 numbers, but it's report in 2024. They're just looking backwards to explain the differences. So the median net worth of Hispanic household is $48,700, and the black household is $27,100. The Asian household is $320,900, and the white household, which is the majority, is $250,400. So you can see the difference. The difference in the control of the resources is how much they are, in how much they're worth. I'm going to read a little bit again. In dollar amount, the wealth gap between white household and black and Hispanic household increased. So the wealth gap increased, the difference increased. From 2019 to 2021. For example, in 2019, the typical white household had $168,800 more in wealth than the typical Hispanic household. This gap increased to $201,700 in 2021. So the gap keep growing. Basically, white folks and Asian keep making more, and black folks and Hispanic folks keep making less. And black folks are always still at the bottom. So in percentage term, black 77%, Hispanic 42%, Asian 43%, and white 23% household all experienced strong gain in median wealth from 2019 to 2021. What factor might be explained the large wealth gap across racial ethnic group that have endured 4 decades, if not longer? With respect to black household, evidence points to the role of slavery and post-slavery practice, such as segregation, that created disparate opportunity for wealth accumulation. For Hispanic household, the relative youth of the population and immigration status play a role. In turn, this factor likely contributes to the lower rate and size of inheritance received by black and Hispanic households. So basically, there is not a lot of money that black folks or Hispanic folk can transfer from the generations before. White folks, on the other hand, have been able to do that for over 400 years. And during those 400 years, you have slavery, you have colonization, you have Jim Crow, you have all these laws that was passed, gentrification and all the rest. So it's clearly an advantage for white folks and Asian folks compared to black folks and Spanish. But blacks still at the bottom in a worse way. So as we come in here, so if they say that black folks' wealth, and I'm just going to put it in context, is $27,000 per household, $27,100 $27,100,000. So that's what they say black folks are worth in America. Now, I'm going to project that to what the brackets of wealth are in America. The way the taxes, the way they explain the wealth gap in America, where they put people. So, they say in America, you have 5 classes. You have the lower class, the bottom 20% of earners with household income not exceeding 28,000. So you already see that the 27,100 of black folks put the majority black under in the lower class. So automatically, it shows you the black folks in this country are in majority lower class. When we talk about politics of economic cruelty, that's how it's reflected in the numbers. Those who have been put under that cruelty politics first. I'm going to talk about the United States, but I'm going to come talk about my country, the Kongo Federation, Africa too, because I'm going to do both at the same time. I'm trying to make that point. That this is not new. This has been done for centuries. And now we're going to come to the rest of the world and explain that we don't want to go through that anymore. It needs to change. I'm just going to explain again. I read you the wealth of black America, the majority of black in the United States, is 27,100. That's the wealth of black in America. And when you look at the brackets, the 5 wealth bracket in America, the lower class, which is the first bracket, the bottom 20% of earners with household income not exceeding 28,007. So majority black people are already on that bracket. Majority are on the lower class. The lower middle class, that's the second class. Those in the 20th to 40th percentile of household income between $28,000 and $55,000 a year. So that's how much money people make a year. The middle class, those in the 40th to 60th percentile of household income ranging from $55,000 to $89,744. And the upper middle class, household in the 60th to 80th percentile with income between $89,745 and $149,131. And the upper class, which is those they call the super rich, the top 20% of earners, so the 20% on top, with household income of $149,132 and over. So that's where the millionaires and the billionaires are. So in those 5 brackets, if you're just looking at how much people make a year, you will understand that black America, just by the way how much they're worth, shows you, because if you work $27,100 as a household, basically household means if they have a man and a woman working, they make so less that it doesn't pass that $28,000. So they're in a lower class. They're basically the poorest of the country. This phenomenon of wealth economic cruelty have been reflected also in Africa against the native people, the autochthon people like us, the Congo people. What the West have done, what Europe and United States have done, they use people who came from the colonization to lead the countries, African countries, and step on the autochthon native people, like the Congo people. And we find ourselves in the same situation where we have one of the richest land in the world. The Congo land, which used to be the Congo Empire, is one of the richest in this world, but we never transfer those riches to the life of the people who are from there. In contrary, the foreigners who came to exploit our people, our bodies, use our blood, use our natural resources, develop themselves like United States or all these European countries and build their countries, but never build the people who are the owner of the land where they're taking the natural resources from. That's where this cruelty has been applied to those republics that they created, like the Republic of Congo, that has been rejected now by 3 million of the autochthon people who have chosen to create the Kongo Federation. So I'm trying to explain to you that the politics of economical cruelty can be measured in United States when it comes to black folks, and in Africa when it comes to Congo people, the descendant of the Congo Empire, today represented by the Kongo Federation, the 55th country of Africa. So now I'm going to transition to how does the politics play into it. In the 2020 election cycle, okay, I'm gonna let's go to that. So Biden, President Joe Biden, received 87% of the black vote. 87% of the black vote. It means President Trump received 13% of the black vote. 87% of the black vote, but black folks in this country still at the bottom are worth only 27,100 household after over 400 years. So white vote 41% for President Biden. Hispanic vote 65%, Asian vote 61%. So if white vote 41% for Joe Biden, it means that President Trump, former President Trump, got what, about 59%? No, 49% of the white vote. So what he's saying here is the poorest people in the country, majority black, in over 80% vote for the Democratic Party. What have they got from that? They're still under the politics of economic cruelty. It hasn't changed. They vote for the Democratic Party. But before I go to the Democratic Party, I'm going to go to the Republican Party. The Republican Party have something that is their main signature, and which is good. I don't think it's a bad thing when it comes to, I think it's their best assets, is their best way of pushing their politics. The only issue with what they're pushing with that way, and I'm going to try to help and explain how they can make it better, is they put too much cruelty in that political asset that they have. And that political asset is their favorite way of doing politics, which is tax cut. And I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain. The tax cut is the signature of the Republican Party, the political way the Republican Party express themselves and lead America. The tax cut can be very effective. The problem is the way they use the tax cut is they put too much emotion in it. And I'm going to explain. They have to learn how to take the emotion of cruelty away from the tax cut if they want to have a more effective politics. They have to learn how to take the cruelty out of the tax cut. I'm going to explain. In the state of Georgia, the great state of Georgia, our governor, Brian Kemp, have redistributed, I think, $1 billion, if I'm not wrong. Don't quote me on the numbers, but I think it's $1 billion from the COVID stuff. And I want to explain how powerful the tax cut can be, also how non-effective when it is not done the right way because they're trying to put cruelty in the tax cut. And I'm going to give the solution to the Republican Party. I'm just going to use the great state of Georgia, who gave me residence. Our governor, the governor, Brian Kemp, is a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just an independent thinker. I'm an independent mind. But he's a Republican. He gave a tax cut last year. I think it's worth $1 billion. And he's trying to redistribute through the state of Georgia. And what he did with his tax cut came to the county where I live, Clayton County, and cut my taxes 1/3. Yeah, the house, the real estate tax, the tax for my house, which is a big deal. And that's when the effectiveness of the tax cut can be measured. As one of those brothers, Black Americans, who speaks, I watch him on YouTube, Philip Scott. His name is Philip Scott. His channel is Philip Scott channel. You also have an African diaspora channel. Philip Scott always talk about how the Democratic Party basically sold out Black Americans in this country, and he wants the most of the Black people in this country to stop voting Democrats because they have got nothing for 60 years. And he asked them to all vote for the couch, so stay at home in 2024, or for those who want, vote for former President Donald Trump. But Brother Philip Scott used a term, an endearing term that I think is very important here. He say, Black folks need tangibles. Tangible means it's something that we can touch, we can see. So when Governor Brian Kemp of the great state of Georgia cut taxes for the Georgia resident, this tax cut could be reflected in the county where I live and cut my property tax 29%. So the bill of $3,000 came, that the bill that the county gave me, my wife and I, was cut by almost $900 some, almost $1,000. And this tax cut came from Governor Brian Kemp, a Republican. So the tax cut can be effective in life of black folks that I am here in America, and regular folks who might not have a lot of money. So the tax cut that Governor Brian Kemp of the great state of Georgia did help a black household. So it's a good thing. Now, Governor Brian Kemp, Republican from Georgia, did something else. He decided in a tax cut to redistribute $250 to single, and I think $300 to head of household, and $500 to married families out of that money. So you can see we add the tax break on a real estate tax that we were supposed to pay, and they send a check, right, out of $1 billion. I just want you to stay with me. He decided to redistribute, I think, $250 to single people, I think it's $300 for head of household, and $500 to married couple. Now, redistributing this small amount of money is not bad, but compared to the $1 billion, it's still too low. And I'm going to explain to the Republican Party why. The majority of the money of the $1 billion that the tax cut have been redistributed go to what they're trying to sell to people. That's the politics that they're using. They're trying to say that the majority of this money goes to businesses, companies, multinational corporation. That's a bunch of crap. That money, so if you, let's say that in the $1 billion, government can redistribute, let's say $10 million to regular folks, and $90 million goes, $10 million. So the rest of the $980 million is distributed to what they call corporation or business. It's a lie, because those businesses are ran by families. Those board of directors, they're ran by families. This money goes to people, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the smoke screen, the lie, when it comes to the redistribution of resources, because that's what it is. That's the reason why you have so many black folks who are at the bottom, because of the way the redistribution of the resources of this country have been done for over 400 years. And don't forget, those families that they put under the umbrella of corporation, or they put under the umbrella of businesses, these families are the wealthiest in this country and in the world. Those families are the families that have owned slaves, have owned natural resources in my country, the Kongo Federation, in Africa. Those families are the family who have money for 4 generations or 5. So when Governor Brian Kemp will redistribute the tax cut, he takes the majority of the money and send it to the family that have been rich for 400 years. What it means is those families don't need the money. What they do is they add the money for the 5th or sixth generation, because those families are the families that have, most of them, controlled United States for 400 years. And those families are also the same families who own natural resources, who own the corporation, who take natural resources out of all these countries in Africa and in the Arab Peninsula, basically the Arabic country, whether it's oil or whether it's minerals. These are the families who control that. That's why they hide behind corporation, they hide behind business. But the money don't go to a building. The money don't go to an LLC. And even if you want to talk about the payroll, how much those businesses, the payroll is nothing compared to the billions of dollars, the millions of dollars that they receive in a tax cut. So all he does is he keep enriching people who are already rich. Now, we understand that they take some of that money back to the politician, whether they're Republican or Democrat or independent, as of campaign contribution. Now, what I'm trying to understand is, and the question I asked the Republican Party, does the campaign contribution that those rich families, that's those owners of businesses who have been rich for 4 centuries, who have controlled United States or controlled multinational over the year, over the world, especially in Africa, because that's when you came to get those natural resources, like in my land, like in the Congo land. You come here to get those natural resources. So you came here and you still doing it until today. So the question is, are those rich folks who have rich for 4 generations have told you that as you get the government money to redistribute, you have to put cruelty in there and make sure that black folk get the minimum? Why don't you just redistribute the money in a way where those 5 brackets can be seen, redistribute the money in a way where most of the Americans benefit from the lower class, from the lower middle class, from the middle class, from the upper middle class, from the upper class. The problem is the upper class seems to get 90% of the money. The upper class don't need 90% of the $1 billion tax cut because they have money for 5 generations. That's where the cruelty that I'm talking about come in play. Now, I don't know if the Republican Party or the Republican politician have been taught that for their politics to be real and good, they have to push that cruelty, which basically affect the most black people in this country. And is that same cruelty that was applied in Africa to the Republic of Congo or the Republic of Gabon or the Republic of Angola or the Republic of Uganda or the Republic of Democratic Congo. These are the land of the Congo Empire, where the Congo with K, the original people, are from, who have been hurt the most, where the genocides have killed 20 million in the Republic Democratic of Congo and 4 million in my land, where I'm from. So the redistribution of wealth, once they control it, is still done in a way where black folks are the bottom. African folks with their own natural resources in their own country are at the bottom. That's what the politics of economic cruelty is that I came to define the other day, that we're fighting against. So, my little advice to the Republican Party is, unless of giving 90% of the money to those families, because that money don't go to buildings. It doesn't go to businesses. It goes to people. People control that money. People put that money in their account. They get richer. Unless of giving this money to the same people who already have it, take some of the cruelty out of your tax cut. You will be more effective. If at the lower class, unless of giving $250 per individual, $300 per head of household, or $500 per married couple, you turn the lower class, which needed the most, you give them, let's say $3,000, maybe $1,500 per single, maybe $2,000 per head of household, maybe $3,000 per couple. And then as you go to the lower middle class, you bring it down a little bit. You bring down a couple of $100. So until you get to the higher class. So you should be able to redistribute $1 billion more equally in a way where it will actually help a family that make $28,000 a year, or is worth $27,000 as an household. If you can redistribute $3,000 as a family, that $3,000 will cover their rent, will help them to buy groceries. Inflation over there at the store that are owned by the upper class to the 20%. The stores are owned by the 20% that you're giving 90% of the tax cut to. It makes no sense. They have been rich for 4 generations. They don't need 90% of $1 billion tax cut. That's not smart. So all I'm saying is you have to learn how to take the cruelty out of the tax cut. And if you do redistribute that $1 billion as like $3,000 per couple for people who make the lower class, the lower 20%, the bottom 20%. And then when you get to the lower middle class, you take a little bit off. Maybe you make it $2,700 for the lower middle class. And then when you get to the middle class, you make $2,500 for the couple. And when you get to the upper class, maybe you make $1,500 because they make already good money. And then the upper class, you already give them the majority of the money anyway that they don't need. So the Republican Party have to learn how to get out of their way. They have to get away from cruelty. That cruelty don't help nobody. Nobody wants that cruelty anymore. And when it comes to the black vote, if the Republican watch this video, I want you to understand. Joe Biden had 87% of the black vote. Do you think in Georgia, if the governor, Brian Kemp, Republican, decide to redistribute the money the way I explained, where the people at the bottom get more, like $3,000, and the people, and it goes down a little bit as we go up the bracket, you think that black folks not going to vote for the Republican Party? They will. Matter of fact, I'm going to say boldly here, if the Republicans have the guts to take the cruelty out of the tax cut, because the tax cut is good, I just demonstrated that to you. Let me explain to you, when that tax bill from our house came of $3,100, and when we received the letter who was talking about the tax cut of that bill, I said what like the politician said to at the kitchen table with my wife, like we say in Georgia. I sat down with my wife and I showed my wife how much money we were saving. Over $900. It might not be anything for some of you, but it's a lot for us. So I showed my wife that we're saving $900 on our tax real estate bill because Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia gave a tax break to the Georgia resident, which is a good thing. So the tax cut can be done right when it have the most effect. And Do you think that if you add the tax cut coming from real estate taxes and you add an extra $3,000 to a couple, married couple, to help them, don't you think that those who are at the bottom, which are black folks, not going to vote Republican? They're going to vote Republican because these are the tangibles that black people are asking for. These are the tangible that Brother Philip Scott been talking about, that black folks are expecting from their elected leader. So the Republican Party must learn how to get cruelty out of their best political weapon, which is the tax cut. So I hope that as they are rallying around former President Donald J. Trump, the most controversial, but also the most historical president for them, they understand now that to get the black vote, you have to give tangible to the most who have the less. Black folks in this country have a net worth of $27,100. And the majority of them are under the lower class, the $28,000 a year. So if they understand that as they redistribute the money, whether it's in Georgia, whether it's in Michigan, whether it's in Ohio, whether it's in Pennsylvania, especially in the South, if they understand the power of the redistribution of the tax cut to help more black households, they will get the black vote. Joe Biden will not be stuck with 87% of the black vote that in my personal they haven't earned, and I'm going to demonstrate that the Democratic Party haven't earned 87% of the support of black folks. So I'm going to conclude here for the Republican Party. They have to get away from the cruelty. The cruelty means, let me just remind you here, is that deliberately cause pain or distress to people. Stop trying to hurt people. This is a redistribution of resources in this country. The same thing that you did in Africa when you came get our natural resources. You did it wrong the way the resources are redistributed in the politics. You give the money to the wrong folks who are not the autochthon folks, and they stamp on the original people, and now you have a rejection of your politics and of the West, and of France in particular. So you have to work on that. So the Republican Party, we know that they are rallying around former President Donald J. Trump, and he's the most consequential president for them. And by the way, he's the one who have the most support in the history of Republicans. We never saw that before. The way they rally around him is just their leader. It's nothing that people can do about that. And I'm just going to say also about Project 2025 that Democrats are fear-mongering about what Donald Trump and his new vision for 2025 is going to be. I'm going to say that with one voice and without even thinking. It's nothing that has been done to black folks before that in that Project 2025 that they intend to do. Everything that they talk about that they're going to do has been done to black folk. That's why we are at the bottom in this country, right? Whether it's slavery, whether it's Jim Crow, whether it's gentrification, whether it's not sharing the resources, getting a small portion of the $1 billion when most of the money goes to the families that are rich for 400 years. And I forgot to say, those families that Brian Kemp is sending the majority of the tax cut to, the majority of those families are white. Yeah, the majority of the owners, some of those rich families are black, a couple of them are Asian, some of them are Arabic, but the majority of the super rich family are white. So that money goes to white families. You have to just be honest about it. So it's not that they don't know, they know it, but we know it too. So we understand that Donald Trump still their leader. It doesn't matter of the controversy. Former President Donald J. Trump. All I'm asking is that Republicans learn how to take cruelty out of the tax cut. Is your best play. Just redistribute the money better, because the people who are suffering the most are the 20% bottom, and the majority of them are black. So if you want the black vote, just redistribute the money better. And instead of doing $250, do $3,000 for the couple. If I take the couple, the $500 that you gave us last year, do $3,000. And then you go down a little bit. The most the bracket is 5 bracket. The most the bracket go up, then you go down a little bit. So you have the lower class bracket, the bottom 20% who earn with household income not exceeding $28,000 a year. The lower middle class, those in 20th to 40th percentile of household income between $28,008 and $55,000 a year. The middle class, those in 40th to 60th percentile of household income ranging from $55,001 to $89,744. The upper middle class, the household in the 60th to 80th percentile with income between $89,000, $745,000 and $149,131. And the upper middle class, that's where Brian Kemp sent the most of the money. The top 20% of earners with household income of $149,132 or more a year. So take the cruelty out of the tax cut. It's your best play. And we know that you're going to be rallying around former President Donald Trump, and he has the best chance to win in 2024. I have to say that. But you cannot discount black folks. And I'm just going to be honest. If you feel uncomfortable dealing with black folks, the Republican Party, I'm just going to be honest, because of the white supremacy legacy, the Jim Crow legacy, the slavery legacy, just redistribute the tax cut better. You don't have to come to the cookouts. You don't have to come to churches, black churches. You don't have to pander to black folks. You have enough governor in the United States, in the whole United States. Just redistribute the tax cut better. The tax cut is your best move. Just make sure that black folks get more than they used to get before. Like I say, unless I'm doing $500 per couple, do $3,000 per couple, those who are at the bottom. And then as you move up, you take a little bit less. Black folks will vote Republican because that 87% that Joe Biden got, and I'm going to explain it here in a minute when I talk to Democrat, is outrageous. The Democratic Party haven't earned 80%, 87% of the vote to have the majority black being worth $27,000 a year. That's outrageous. So I wanted to give you the parallel with the Republican Party. I want to give my solution to the Republican Party. The tax cut is your best play. Take the cruelty out of the tax cut. And if you rally around former President Donald J. Trump, which is the most controversial but also the most loved president of the United States. So by Republicans, he enjoyed a support that never been seen in the history of this country when it comes to Republicans. If you rally around him, just explain him what I say. It's outrageous that the Democratic Party get 87% of the black vote. It's insulting. I'm going to explain why. Now, I'm going to remind you again that the Kongo Federation, the 55th country of Africa, we're here fighting against that economic cruelty. It's because of that economic cruelty that my people was kept poor for over 60 years. We are the poorest, We are the one that they kill the most. In the land of where our people are is where the civil war have been done the most. Is where they're trying to transfer Palestine now. They're trying to transfer Palestine here. After they're trying to transfer 1.5 million Rwandese from Rwanda. That's what Denis Sassou Nguesso and France and United States, because they're their boss, are aware of what's going on here. That can happen. It's going to be a backlash. And just before I go to the Democratic Party, I want to talk to the President Biden, because we did spoke with his administration, with the Senate, with the House, the Kongo Federal Council, present you our country, and we have asked you to take America to the right side of history, because now our people are rejected mediocrity and cruelty when it comes to the way our natural resources are handled, when it comes to the ownership of our natural resources. We have said that now we want control of our land and at least 51% of all our natural resources, and we want to protect those of us who have left in life. So they need to understand that's the we have to pay the price for our freedom. That's the governor, the only female governor of the state of Mpangala. Maman c'est Olga Duchemin, the governor of the state of Mpangala. She's talking here. No, she said we have to pay the price for our freedom. So what we're saying is, we have spoke to President Biden and his administration. We have explained to him, be on the right side of history. You cannot do what you did in the past. France have been rejected. France will be walked out of Africa and of the Congo territory, business by business, industries by industry. They're going to be walked out of our land because they refuse to listen. We have put a 3-generational curse on the Republic of Congo. Here, what's left of it, because that's the Kongo Federation. And if they do a war, we're going to take that too. The thing is, all these are the Congo lands. It's our land, the land of our ancestors. So what we're saying is, if they don't give back the price that they have to pay after over 4 million have been genocided, after the poverty that have been installed, they have to give back the land, pay the reparation, and we ask for the justice of what happened for the past at least 60 years. And in that reparation, we ask that they give the country, the 55th country, as the down payment. We ask the Biden administration, we say, be on the right side of history. Stop trying to play the game that you're playing. It doesn't work anymore. Our people have rejected that. Our people transferred the power to the Kongo Federal Council so we could take control of our land, control of our natural resources, and now develop our people who have not been developed for over 100 years. The deal with France, the Republic of Congo, was a failure. We have demonstrated that in numbers. We have demonstrated that in the international community. We was in a United Nations. Governor Mpungi, the governor of the state of Buenza and Kumu, went to represent the United Nations, and he even met President Biden. He took a picture with him over there. And he did present the case to United Nations. Be on the right side of history. We have received the power to give the land back to the original people, the autochthon people, the Congo with K. That Congo with C is fake. It's nothing to do with us. Our people have rejected that. The Republic of Congo is crumbling. This country has received a 3-generational curse. France have received a 3-generational curse. What it means is they're going to start to kill each other, and their country going to start to go down. You see, France is bankrupt right now. They've been rejecting everywhere, not just in the Congo land, but even in the Sahel in Africa. You see. And we explain to the United States, we don't want you to be in that position. You have to understand that things have changed. Our people want to live with their natural resources and enjoy them. They don't want to be poor when your multinationals who are controlled by majority white families who have been rich for 400 years going to keep taking natural resources and not developing our people. We have rejected that. So we have explained to the Biden administration that they need to be on the right side of history here and recognize the Kongo Federation as the 55th country in Africa. We have gave them the opportunity, like we also give to a couple of Republicans in the Senate and in the House, the opportunity to protect and have the Kongo Federation recognized as the 55th country of Africa. Because our people, 3 million of them, to the petition where we have more than 50,000 signatures, requested that the Kongo Federation become a country. Because the Republic of Congo have failed 3 million out of 5. Because whoever wants to stay in the Republic of Congo, that's their business. But 3 million say they want their own country. And these are the autochthone people who have requested that, and they have demanded that. And we went through a traditional process called Mbongi, which is like a therapy where we unify all our tribe, and our leadership have been put together under the Congo Federal Council, and we came to you to explain that to America. We gave America the first bite at this historical moment when the Congo Federation was created the 23rd of October 2021. We came to you first. It's not just about saving the Congo people, it's saving the future of America, because if America don't listen, they're going to be run out of Africa like France is right now. It doesn't matter what you take out of the natural resources, it's going to start to disappear because there is a curse now. We have received the power to put a traditional curse when it comes to our land and our people, and we did put that curse on. That curse is working right now. The 4 million that have been slaughtered are asking for justice and asking for reparation. That curse means that whatever you're going to come do in our land, going to fail. Your company going to fail. You might take some oil. As the oil leave our land, as the oil is in the middle of the ocean, the tank are going to just drown. Or the oil going to turn into water. That's what a curse is. We have given that power because this is who we are in Africa. When you have received power from the traditional, from the political side, from the spiritual side, that's the power that we was given, and we exercise that power right now. And economic calamity is going to France right now. France knows why they're going down, because we have told them, get out. Get your Sassou Nguesso and your people out of our land. They owe us reparation. Get out. You failed our people. We don't want to hear anything about it. But we didn't went to the French. We came to you, United States. We came to President Biden and his administration. Now we have a 3-generational curse going on for those who are going to try to insist. And it's not going to end up well. And we didn't want America to be rejected, to be rebuked by our people and the rest of the African people. Because it will affect the businesses of the United States. It will affect the economy. You know that. So we was honest. That's why we came to you first. So now to translate quickly to the Democratic Party, I'm just going to play a little video. And I'm going to pick back from that video and talk to the Democratic Party to close my life. But I want you to listen to this. This is a sister, Sabrina Salvati, very smart. Those are the people like the brother Philip Scott who fight for black folks in this country, who want a better life for them and better life for every American, who want to get rid of that politic of economic cruelty that I talk about today. So we're going to play Sabi Sab a little bit of that video, and I'm going to talk to the Democratic Party to close my life. Let's listen.
Mark Lamont Hill says in this church is exactly the way the people who are part of the congregation should have responded to the fact that Joe Biden, who is actively committing genocide against the Palestinian people, the fact that he could show his damn face in a black church where 9 black people were gunned down. The fact that he can show his face there after he was friends with all these segregationists, he was friends with Strom Thurmond, he was friends with Byrd. And this is the person that they're supposed to listen to? Listen to this from Mark Lamont Hill. Because see, people like Joy Reid, they want you to not focus on these types of things. They still want you to come out and support Joe Biden. And because Joe Biden is doing so poorly and is struggling to talk oftentimes, they're even leaning towards settling for Nikki Haley. That's how desperate these people are to keep the status quo. They don't want anything different. They don't want any change. But Mark Lamont Hill does. Listen to this powerful speech. Last Sunday, St. Sabina Church welcomed me to deliver their annual MLK Day message. Listen to what Mark Lamont Hill says. This is probably one of the highlights of the speech. This has gone pretty viral on Twitter. Listen to this.
Right. So the AME Church is a church of struggle. And it's also a church of tragedy. We know that Dylan Roof went into that church and killed 9 beloved saints as they were praying. So I was a bit struck last week when I saw that they opened the pulpit up to Genocide Joe. Y'all can get mad, I don't care. And people, as he began to give his campaign speech, some protesters stood up and said, "Stop the blood in Palestine." They said, if you're outraged by the blood of Selma and you're outraged by the blood that was spilled in this very church, then how about calling for a ceasefire in Palestine since you've given them the weapons, you've given them the support, you've given them the money? Joe, why don't you do something about it? They marched and stood up and got kicked out of the church, and people said, we're outraged. You know, I was outraged too. How dare you use this sacred space? How dare you use this beloved pulpit? How dare you use this sacred tradition? How dare you use the words of Jesus, who overturned the tables in the temple, who was committed to overturning a Roman government, who was committed to speaking out against injustice? How dare you use this space as a shield for imperial war? How dare you use this space as a shield for violence? How dare you use this space as a shield for genocide?
Now, I don't know if Mark Lamont Hill has any preaching experience in his background, but he really lit this on fire. They literally let a segregationist, crime bill, genocide Joe walk down the aisle of the church, stand up in the pulpit, and start to beg for votes. Come out and support me, Genocide Joe. And you literally had people in the audience chanting 4 more years. And what kills me is when you saw black people doing it. Now, Marcel Dixon was just here a minute ago. He said some of those people were brought in. You really got people in my own damn community willing to sell out for this racist, segregationist, genocidal maniac. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame when you sit up there and you see people who have been oppressed support and cheer on an oppressor. What have we come to in this country? What have we come to? What the fuck is wrong with people? And not just the black church, but the black community in general. Malcolm X warned you about this. Malcolm X told you if you are not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and supporting the people who are the oppressor. And that is exactly what has been happening. All because Trump bad, orange man derangement syndrome. So it kills me, it bothers me to see my own people. You up there cheering for this man who sat up there and he wrote all these damn bills to take black men out the home, giving them harsher penalties. The crime bills. There were multiple crime bills, not just one. You sit up there and you cheer on this man. He apologizes to Anita Hill when he decides to run for president in 2020. But all those damn years went by and you ain't say nothing to Anita. They cheer for this man who refused to let her witnesses testify to protect Clarence Thomas. And the black community, just nothing, no pushback, no get out of here, Joe. They show up and want to take selfies. It's clown behavior. It really is. And like I said, it's gotten to the point where we're settled for anything and accept anything. I know Joe Biden hasn't done anything for the black community. I know he made promises and sold us out, but I got a selfie with him. Listen to the rest of it.
The moral atrocity that took place wasn't some disruptive protesters. It was the fact that you allowed the leader of the most violent and bloody empire in modern history to stand in this place and represent a tradition that he ain't got nothing to do with. How dare you?
All right.
The biggest mistake was inviting Joe to the cookout. The same guy who sat up there and told Charlemagne the God, you ain't black if you can't figure out whether or not you're going to vote for me or Donald Trump. The things that we have allowed, we've allowed people just get away with. Just get away with. No other community puts up with this. Did you see the Muslim voters decided to get together in Michigan and they said, you know what? We're not going to support you, Joe Biden, because of what you're doing to people in Gaza. No other group puts up with this. Asian Americans wouldn't put up with this. Latino Americans wouldn't put up with this. The Muslim Americans ain't putting up with this.
No.
Things need to change. Things really need to change.
Okay,
so when you think about that comparison between Joe Biden and LBJ, and you think about these two wars, I want you to remember that come November, the things that were just said, don't let people guilt trip you to go and support Joe Biden. Don't make people feel like it's your duty to support the Democratic Party. It's not.
It's not.
I'd rather have a vote of morality and vote with my conscience than to vote just to make sure that Democrat establishment types are okay with me. That's the way I see it.
Thank you, Sabi Sab.
He should have never been in that church in the first damn place.
That was a powerful message from Sabi Sab. Thank you, Sabi. And I wanted to share it before I speak to the Democratic Party. And 87% of African Americans voted for Joe Biden in 2020. 87% and black folks are worth $27,100 in America. They are the lower class, the bottom class. They call this here the lower class. The lower 20%. That's where the majority of black Americans are. 87% vote for the Democratic Party. What that means? What are you actually Democrat did for black folk? Where we are the lowest bracket in America. They're the same who come ask black people to save democracy. What democracy means if I'm living economic cruelty. And I'm saying to all these Democratic pendants who are walking around trying to make people feel like Donald Trump, former President Donald J. Trump, is the worst man in the world. He's not. Or the worst president this country ever had. He's not. Because as we're talking right now, President Joe Biden, that American called Jim Crow Joe, now another a woman from Ireland in EU in Europe over there in the Economic Forum, call him Butcher Biden. You have Genocide Joe, Jim Crow Joe, and now Butcher Biden. Because of the most spectacular genocide done by the Zionists, where President Joe Biden came to say publicly that he's a Zionist himself. They are slaughtering, wiping out Palestinians, taking them out of their land and trying to transfer them to the land of the Kongo people when Joe Biden saw that the Kongo people asked for their land back. Joe Biden, his administration, and Emmanuel Macron, one of the worst presidents in the history of France, wanted to transfer Palestinians in the land of my ancestors. They want to transfer Palestine here when we're looking for the freedom, we're looking to take control of our land and our own natural resources. He's trying to transfer Palestine here because he supports the Zionist cause of Netanyahu. He has the most documented genocide happening right now under his presidency. Over 24,000 deaths, 60-some thousand that they don't account for and wounded. So over 100,000 people messed up out of 2.3 million. It's happening under Joe Biden. You were saying that President Donald Trump was unstable, was dangerous for America. No. You have two wars under President Joe Biden. You got the Ukraine war and Russia, and now you have the Zionist war against Palestinians happening right now. Two wars under Joe Biden. And he was supposed to be the calm, the one who will bring the calm in America. He will keep things the same way. He will keep things the same way for black wealth when the majority of black are worth $27,000 of wealth and make under $28,000 a year. So he will keep the same 87% that are voted for him in 2020 poor, broke. And since they had power, even from the Obama days, President Obama, they keep crying about black folks. They have done nothing for black folks. No tangibles. Tangibles is the redistribution of resources. Black folks need resources. They don't need slogan. They don't need feel good. It's not because you put a couple of black folks in your cabinet or you make a couple of black folks in a judicial stuff. That don't mean nothing. That's somebody's salary. If you put somebody who makes $300,000 in a place, or you give a job to somebody who makes $150,000, you give $150,000 to one person. It doesn't affect the majority black community who are the poorest in this country. So you have to redistribute the resources the way it affects positively those who are stepped on the most, those who have received the economic cruelty the most, which are the black Americans who are voting for you 87% in 2020. You came to power, you came here as Senator Warnock to be put in power. You asked Senator Ossoff to be put in power so you could have the Senate. You had the Senate. You could not even protect the vote. You could not pass any laws to, after the George Floyd situation, to protect black folks, an anti-crime, hate crime bill for black folks, to protect black folks against hate. You protected the Asian community. The Asian community now, they're saying here, in this Pew report, that the Asian community are the richest community in America. As they say, the Asian community who got the hate crime bill, the Asian community is worth, from 2020, in 2021, Asian households had a major net worth of $320,000, 900 compared with white, which is $250,400 for white household. So the Asian community became the richest one in America. If we look at the median household, but you got them a hate crime bill to protect Asian. Since you keep saying that the former President Donald Trump was, attacking Asian and using the COVID against Asian people in this country. So you give the protection to one of the richest people in this country, but the black folks who vote for Democrat at 87% got nothing. Like Brother Philip Scott say, and like the Sabi Sabs and them say, they have no tangibles. Black folks get feelings. You think that speeches coming to black churches, making speeches, going to change anything? The people who vote for you, 87%, still at the bottom of the country, are worth $27,000 net worth. You think that's right? You don't deserve black people vote. The Democratic Party have asserted black folks in this country for years. And it must be said, because when I'm talking about the numbers here. The economical cruelty that you have put up on black folks in this country must be stopped. As I'm fighting for the Congo people, as the governor of my state, I'm fighting for the people here in America too, because I was given the opportunity to live here. And by the numbers, the Democratic Party keep our people in $27,000 net worth a year. It means you have done nothing for all these people who keep voting for you. You are now seen as Genocide Joe, Jim Crow Joe, Biden the Butcher. And you want to talk about saving democracy? You're going to save democracy? Save who? What democracy are you going to save? If the cruelty, the economic cruelty, still apply to the people who vote for you the most. What democracy are you talking about? Who are you going to save? Rich people? Who are you trying to save? What democracy are you trying to save? It's a shame. And I hope that every black families in this country watch this video. When I came to speak, I spoke about my country, I spoke about black America, and I used the numbers. It's a shame that feel-good mentality of black leaders in this country. Yeah, I got mine. I got mines. I'm feeling good. I'm paying 100 and some thousand a year. Then black people succeed. No, you get paid $100,000 a year. Somebody else get paid $200,000 a year. Somebody that get to be a judge. You didn't help black folks. You helped one family. It's the redistribution of the resources. When we're talking about the tax cut in the household, redistribution of the money, is how you redistribute the resources in the black household, the black cities. These people vote for you in majority and you do nothing for them. And you keep talking about how you're going to cater to the 60% white that adores Donald J. Trump. And in that 60% majority white, 30 to 40% are MAGA. They love Donald J. Trump. They're never going to love you. They're never going to support you. Donald Trump is their leader. Because the majority white is with him, you and your Congress, the Democratic Congress, the Schumer and all the Zionists think that by catering to Republican, catering to white majority, you're going to get power. And then when it comes to vote, you want 80% of black folks come to vote for you. When you leave them at $27,000 of net worth, they're in the lower class in the United States. We have 5 classes, they're in the lower class. Make under $28,000 a year. That's where the majority of black folks are. But you want them to save democracy when you could not share the resources so they can grow too. Not just those black folks that you put in your administration. Nobody give a damn about that. That's a feeling thing. Like I told the Republican Party, take the feelings, the cruelty out of the tax cut. The Democratic Party should take the feelings out of the politics and look at the numbers. Black folks need resources. We don't need your speech in church. You don't need to come to the cookout. We don't need you to come even talk to us at all. We want you to redistribute the resources so it can build the life of those people who are worth $27,000 a year after voting for 60 years for the Democratic Party. That's outrageous. And I hope every black people in this country are going to watch this video. And you tell me if I'm wrong. Genocide Joe. Biden the butcher. You even been disowned by the people in your native, where you guys came from, Ireland, in Europe over there. They disown you. Do you know what that means? That's a shame. Now, you send all these black folks that you pay a little money to try to come tell black people to come vote for $27,000 a wealth. That's all you was able to deliver in 60 years, the Democratic Party. That's a shame. And you should be ashamed of yourselves. You have done nothing for our people. And we came to you to explain to you about the Kongo Federation because we want you to understand that things have changed. You will bring this country to a crumble if you don't understand that now nobody want to participate with you in a cruelty, the politic of economic cruelty. We don't want that anymore. That's back in the day. We want wealth that matches the owner of the land. We want the ownership of the natural resources in our own land. You cannot just come take resources and build a couple of white families who already been rich for 4 generations. 60% of that 20% are upper middle class families. The upper class, the 20% of earner with also income on top, most of them are white. On the business side, on the ownership side of the business, of the multinationals in the land of Africa. You think we don't know? We know. So you got to work that out. You guys have to take that cruelty out of the economy when it comes to black folk. We will speak for the Kongo Federation, for the 3 million Congo people who have gave us power, and we also, when the time comes, speak to Black America, because we was given residence here. I'm married to a black woman, I have black children, I'm a black man. You think I'm not going to speak on what you guys, the way you use black folks in this country, the way that the Democratic Party wastes 80% of the vote by giving them $27,000 of wealth after 6 years of voting for you? Are you fucking serious? 60 years of voting for the Democratic Party, black folks are worth $27,000 of net worth? Are you serious right now? That's a failure of the Democratic Party. And it should be an outrage in 2024 elections. All right, I think I'm getting heated. I'm just going to come down and close this live by saying that I wanted to share here my straightforward, raw opinion, use my First Amendment right to express myself as the leader of the Kongo Federation. I'm the governor of the state of Niadi. That's my state right here that I'm governor from. And as a resident here in the United States, we've been given an opportunity to live, work, have children, get married in this country. I wanted to give my voice into the 2024 election, and I spoke to the Republican Party and I spoke to the Democratic Party from the angle of black people. It must be an awakening, like it was for us a couple of years ago when we decided to rise and reject economic cruelty. It must be an awakening for black folks in this country. You cannot vote for a party at 87% and be worth $27,000 a year as people, and where the majority of the people are in the lower class, in the lower 20% of the country, the majority black. That must change. I want to thank you again. Please share that video to your family members, to the Republican politician, to the Democratic politician, to President Joe Biden, to former President Donald J. Trump. And I strongly believe that beside everything that people say, probably it's a bigger chance that former President Donald J. Trump become president of the United States again. Because what we're looking at from Democrats is outrageous and insulting. And if they don't understand that they need to get on the new side of history, like we told him 2 years ago, things have changed. Africans don't want to play the old game anymore. They're going to drive you out of our countries. France is drove out of Africa right now. United States don't want to be in that position. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's why we came to you first. You don't want to be drove out of Africa, because we know what's going to happen to America if you drove out of Africa. Trust me, France is crumbling right now. France is crumbling right now because they have been rejected by our people in a Congo land, in a Kongo Federation, and in many other African countries. So you have to be aware of it. You got to look to the future. And you have to recognize the Kongo Federation as the 55th country as a down payment. And we're going to talk about reparation and justice, how this is going to apply. We are all ears. We are willing to talk, to negotiate. You know what we're asking. You got everything on your desk. And if you don't do it, if you think you're not interested, maybe give it to President Trump, because President Trump is going to be here probably in 2024. by the way things look. And it's nothing none of you could be able to do. Because you're not going to have the guts to stop the 60% majority white going to vote for him. You're not going to stop them. We know that. And you sure not going to get 87% of the black vote. That's done. Not when you leave black folks at $27,000 net worth in America after voting for the Democratic Party for 60 years. That's damn shameful. Okay, so share that video to everybody that you know and tell them that the governor of the State of Niadi gave his opinion when it comes to economic cruelty, because that's what we fight against. My name is Gervais Birangui. I'm the governor of the State of Niadi, of the Kongo Federation. Juste pour résumer en français, hein, comme j'étais un peu long en anglais, c'était beaucoup plus pour focus sur notre audience américaine ici. J'ai essayé de parler au parti républicain et au parti démocrate. J'ai donné quelques solutions au parti républicain parce que eux, leur procédure de faire la politique, c'est de diminuer, de couper les taxes. Ils appellent ça tax cut. Je leur ai demandé d'apprendre à redistribuer l'argent et de lever la cruauté de la redistribution de l'argent. Parce que c'est la redistribution des ressources. Donc, au lieu de donner 90% de l'argent aux familles riches, blanches, qui sont les propriétaires de business, ceux qui ont eu des esclaves, qui sont riches depuis 400 ans, et ceux qui sont propriétaires des multinationales qui sont sur nos terres africaines, ces familles-là, au lieu de continuer à leur redistribuer tout cet argent-là, que les républicains devraient apprendre à redistribuer l'argent plus à ceux qui sont les plus pauvres. Les 20% les plus pauvres de ce pays sont les Noirs. Et donc, j'ai parlé de comment est-ce que les Noirs, ce que valent une famille noire aux États-Unis, la majorité des familles noires sont autour de 27 000 $ de valeur par rapport à ceux qu'ils ont. Donc, quand on fait la différence entre les dettes et ceux qu'ils ont, ça représente 27 000 $. Quand vous parlez des Chinois aux États-Unis, ils sont à 390 000 $ de valeur. Quand vous parlez des Blancs, ils sont à 250 000 $ de valeur. Quand vous parlez des Hispaniques, ils sont à 48 000 $ de valeur. Les Noirs sont à 27 000 $ de valeur. Donc, ce sont les derniers aux États-Unis. Et donc, j'étais en train d'expliquer aux républicains comment est-ce que eux, ils pouvaient avoir le support des Noirs sans même avoir à parler avec eux ou à venir dans les églises et tout ça. Tout ce qu'ils ont à faire, c'est quand ils font ce qu'on appelle les tax cuts, quand ils coupent les taxes, qu'ils redistribuent l'argent un peu plus en bas, où là, les 20% les plus pauvres des États-Unis, où les Noirs sont en majorité. Et s'ils le font, ils auront certainement plus de votes des Noirs. Et au même moment, j'ai damé sur le président Biden et le Parti démocrate parce qu'ils n'ont pas voulu écouter. Et lui, il est maintenant vu comme le plus grand génocidaire ici. Et ils ne peuvent pas faire la morale à l'ancien président Donald Trump parce que lui, il a démarré 2 guerres. La guerre de l'Ukraine contre la Russie et maintenant la guerre des sionistes, où ils sont en train de finir les Palestiniens et ils veulent transférer les Palestiniens sur les terres Congo. Et on lui a dit que nous, on lui avait dit que l'histoire est en train de changer. Il faut être du bon côté de l'histoire. Si tu ne mets pas l'Amérique du bon côté de l'histoire, l'Amérique va être chassée des terres Congo et des terres d'Afrique, comme la France est chassée maintenant, comme la France est en train de s'écrouler. Et j'ai parlé de la malédiction de 3 générations que nous avons mises sur la France, la République du Congo, et tous ceux-là qui viennent prendre les ressources de sur nos terres qui n'ont pas été utilisées. J'ai expliqué que ces ressources-là, ce qui va se passer maintenant, même quand vous prenez ça, quand vous prenez le pétrole sur les terres Congo, quand vous allez mettre ça dans les tankers, arriver sur la mer, les tankers vont se noyer, ou bien le pétrole va se transformer en eau. Les minerais, vous allez prendre les minerais, les diamants ou quoi, ça va se transformer en sable. Parce que nous avons mis la malédiction de 3 générations. Tant que ces terres ne sont pas rendues au Congo, ces terres ne sont pas rendues à la Fédération Congo, le Conseil fédéral Congo n'a pas été reçu là-bas aux Nations Unies, reconnu pour reconnaître la Fédération Congo comme le 55e pays d'Afrique, ils vont continuer à s'écrouler. Et on a dit au président Biden, l'Amérique va être chassée comme la France. On est venu vers vous parce qu'on voulait vous faire comprendre que les choses ont changé. Il faut aller du bon côté de l'histoire. supportez la France et la République du Congo, les Sassou, les quoi, vous êtes du mauvais côté de l'histoire parce que les 3 millions de nos peuples ont rejeté ça. Cette malédiction va vous poursuivre, vous, comme c'est en train de poursuivre la France aujourd'hui. C'est ce qu'on leur a expliqué. Et j'ai parlé aussi au Parti démocrate, où ils ont reçu 87, ils ont donné 87% de leur... Les Noirs ont donné 87% de leur support au Parti démocrate et sont les plus pauvres du pays et sont à majorité leur valeur financière de 27 000 $ par maison. C'est des conneries, c'est des bêtises. Le Parti démocrate n'a rien fait en 60 ans. Et ça doit changer. À la fin, c'est la redistribution des ressources entre les peuples du pays. Il faut redistribuer ça de manière à que tout le monde avance. Qu'on tue la pauvreté. Donc c'était un peu ça que j'ai dit en anglais ici, je voulais vous résumer. J'ai un peu pris mon temps, mais c'était important de partager ce message. Et je couperai cette vidéo en plusieurs parties. Et j'enverrai ça pour faire passer notre message de la Fédération Congo. Mais écoutez, merci encore à tous. C'est Gervais Birangui ici, le gouverneur de l'État du Niadi. Que nous aimions pour nous ça avec vous et vos familles. Vive les peuples Congo et les peuples d'Amérique qui ont compris la vision de souveraineté que nous avons demandé. Vive la Fédération Congo et son Conseil fédéral permanent. Et vive tous les peuples d'Afrique souverains qui nous suivent. Partagez cette vidéo à toute la partie anglophone, à la partie américaine, aux Africains qui comprennent ce qu'on est en train de dire ici. Ici, nous adressons ici la politique de la cruauté économique qu'on a rejetée. Ce message-là est universel. C'était Gervais Birangui, je suis le gouverneur de l'État du Niadi, membre permanent du Conseil fédéral Congo. Que nous aimions pour vous ça avec vous. Merci. Amen.